Alright, we're going to get ready to set up the flight controller on the Demibot. Just want to show that I got it connected up to the USB cable. Alright, we have the flight controller flashed with Betaflight 4.5 for the Demibot. I'm going to connect to it for the first time. It's going to tell us that our accelerometer is not calibrated. So we're going to click on calibrate, and this is on the setup tab. Just going to do an initial calibration there. That allows us to go ahead and set up the rest of the settings. It will not allow you to set up the quadcopter if you don't calibrate it first. Next one, we're going to go to ports. We have our receiver connected to UART 6. So we enable that. That's the only peripheral we currently have on the quadcopter. So we're going to save that. Now we're going to go to configuration. We have no barometer. Craft name is going to be Demibot. Pilot Fox. Alright, set 1 BPS. Okay, for the arming, you want to change that from 25 to 180. That will allow you to arm the quadcopter if it's upside down or stuck in a tree. It'll allow you to try to use turtle mode to get out of a predicament. That's all good. This is my first time setting up 4.5 of Betaflight. And once again, this is the Betaflight configurator 10.10. I'm running Linux, so this is the Linux version, but they all look the same. If you install it on your computer, just go to the GitHub and download the right Betaflight for your computer. Gonna connect back up. There's not a lot to do on the power and battery tab. The failsafe tab, we'll make sure that's set to drop right here. Presets, I'm gonna do the Express ELRS 250. It's gonna be a Freestyle HD, and I'm gonna choose serial separate RX because I have a separate receiver. It's not built into the flight controller. For the values of my battery voltage, I want to use the whole pack value. I'm going to pick those, and then I'm going to save and reboot. So for right now, that's the only preset that I'm going to put on here. And PID tuning, my rates. I think I'm at 110 right now for center stick. And I'm in the process of changing my default rates. I tried low rates, however, I want a little bit more pop. So currently 580, I may raise those, but that might be good enough for me. My expo, I'm gonna try 10 just to see how that feels. On my roll and my pitch, I don't do any on my yaw. No throttle limit. I'm gonna save my rate settings. Filter settings, I'm gonna turn off that gyro low pass 1 filter. And what else? Let me see. Is there any other presets that I need right now? Not really. Okay, receiver. That's crossfire, telemetry is on. My channels are TAER. I just have them like that because that's how I started. I just kept them just like that. Low throttle 1030. This is normally 995. RC smoothing, I turned that off and save that. And now I'm going to make sure on my configuration that I don't have a warning for RC smoothing. So this is pretty much the steps it would take anytime you work on your quad or set up a new one. You're always going to come into Betaflight. This is where you tune it up. Let's see here. PID tuning, make sure that's off also. Yeah, it's not showing there anymore. My modes. Get my radio powered up. Okay, I'm gonna try to bind up this receiver. Give me just a second here. I'm gonna go into system menu, ELRS. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get that receiver in the binding mode.
0 volts.
I can prop it up so y'all can see it. Alright, that ELRS receiver here should start blinking fast. Or I think that might be in binding mode. Let me try my bind here on my radio.
Volts.
Alright, I started binding. I may have to wait for it to start blinking flash or fast. Alright, I'm gonna wait for that. Alright, it's blinking fast now. So on my radio, we're gonna go into bind. I'm going to hit enter on bind.
System on. Ready to fly. Engine off. 0 volts. Stabilize. Shit is about to get real.
I'm going to recycle the power and try it again.
0 volts.
So we're going to let this go into bind mode again, and as soon as it goes into bind, I'm going to hit the bind on the radio and see what happens. If it doesn't bind, I'm going to go into the ELRS configurator on the computer, and I'll show you all that. Alright, it just started blinking fast. Hitting bind on my boxer radio and nothing's happening. So, okay. So we're going to cancel this process here. And what I'm going to do is turn my radio off. So, the current state, this receiver, I just took it out of the package from the factory, so it doesn't have my binding phrase on it or anything. And this was my first time trying to bind it to my radio. I didn't expect it to work, just because it's a Radio Master receiver that's been made and on the shelf in a factory in a warehouse for how long. So what I'm going to do now is get on the computer and update the firmware on that receiver, and also I'm going to put my passphrase on it. Alright, so I've got my browser open. I'm up at the expresslrs.org website, and I've already downloaded the configurator, so I do have the configurator loaded on my computer. However, I decided to go to the website. I'm going to try to run the web flasher. Choose receiver. Hardware vendor is going to be Radio Master in my case. And my frequency is 2.4 gigahertz. My target is going to be the Radio Master EP2 or RP2. RP2 2.4 gigahertz receiver. We'll go next. Let's see here. Plug up my quadcopter. Let's see if it'll go into Wi-Fi mode. That ESC on this particular quad, the Demibot, has already been flashed with Blue Jay, which is how I got the Star Trek tones on there. So basically I got the quadcopter powered up. I'm just waiting for that light to start flashing fast. Let me know it's in Wi-Fi mode, and then I'm going to try to connect to it. It'll be my first time trying the web flash utility. And I can always flash it through Betaflight also. So, but I've been wanting to try this. Okay, so it's flashing fast. Wi-Fi is going to be see. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Available networks. Express, there we go. Left click, it's not like Windows, okay. Let's press ELRS. I'm gonna have to work on that one. I don't know about that Wi-Fi stuff, but I do know this one. Betaflight pass-through. Oh, I have to reset it again. I don't have to close this web page. So let's see here. Well, maybe that's why it wasn't working. I wasn't plugged in. But on the Wi-Fi, I shouldn't need that plugged in. But maybe I did. I don't know. I'm gonna go the way I know how. Alright, so we're in Betaflight. We know where we're at. We're on 0. So we're gonna minimize that. Open up the configurator. Okay. So once again, 3.4. We're doing Radio Master 2.4 gigahertz. Radio Master RP2 2.4 RX. Betaflight pass-through. My binding phrase is on there already. I guess. Do I need to erase it? We'll see what happens. And as always, props off. Especially when working with any type of electronics, flashing. powering up on the bench. Alright, so it's successful. So the old way worked just fine for me. That's the way I normally use. I'm tired of learning new stuff. As I get older, being a computer guy, that sounds kind of sad, but yeah, I'm tired of new websites. Do this, install that, do that. But either way, we got it flashed. So now let's go back to Betaflight. I'm gonna connect to it, and I'm gonna disconnect my USB and reconnect just to make sure we get clean connection. We have to close Betaflight, reopen it also. Alright, it sees it now. Oh, maybe I have to turn the power off. Recycle the power, that's it. So I'm unplugging the quad completely, powering it down and powering it back up. There we go. So after flashing the receiver, I had to reset it. Now that we're setting our modes, I'm going to go in and turn my radio back on. Power up the quad. And as you can see on this picture, it's showing upside down because it currently is upside down. We're going to go to modes. I'm going to add my range here for my arm switch.
System on, ready to fly.
Scroll my little marker bar here down to where arm is. Angle mode.
Turtle mode. Ship is about to get real. 15.2 volts.
Beeper. Okay, so the beeper works. And turtle mode, always enable flip over after crash. It was called turtle mode, but people probably got butthurt over it and they had to change it to something else. That's ridiculous. You can't use words nowadays. Hurt people's feelings. But it's called flip over after crash. And that's what we're using when you're stuck in a tree. Hopefully you never do experience that. So we have everything we need. We don't have GPS on here. If there's GPS, I would add another flight mode, but I don't have it yet. So we can arm the quad. We can level the quad out. We can use the beeper. And turtle mode works.
Shit is about to get real. Turtle mode. Shit is about to get real. Stabilize.
Alright. Save those changes. Almost done. I run props out. Bidirectional D shot.
15.1 volts.
I'm going to save that. The ESC is already set up for bidirectional D shot. So it's already there. Let's go ahead and test them. Test these motors out. She pretty, ain't she? She pretty.
30, 15.1 volts, 29, 28, 27, 26.
That's the Demibot.
24, 23, 22, 21, 20.
There she go.
18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Telemetry lost. 10, 9, 8.
I pulled too many
7,
amps and it
telemetry recovered. 6,
circuit
5,
breaker
4,
trip.
3,
Alright.
1. Timer 1 up.
So we know the motors work. Get my camera stabilized back out here. Alright, so let me check the motor directions.
15.1 volts.
Well, I can just do them all at once. Motor 2 is running wrong. Motor 4 is okay. Motor 3 is good. And motor 1 is not. So motor 1, motor 2. So we need to change the direction of motor 1 and motor 2. Motor 1 and motor 2.
15.1 volts.
Alright. So now let's check them again. Let me slow that sucker down before I put my finger in there. Alright, props out. So number 1 is good now. Let's check number 2. Number 2 is still not right, so I need to click normal on that one. Alright, now let's check it. Alright, it's running right now. And once again, just gonna double check. Number 3 pops out, yep. And number 4.
15.1 volts.
Pops out, okay. So we're good with that. I changed our D shot down to 300. We had no errors on our RPM filtering, which is good. OSD, don't have a camera currently, so nothing set there. We don't have a video transmitter, so nothing there. Black box, let's turn that off. I don't do any black box recording. Let's see, come on, Betaflight.
Telemetry lost.
I don't do anything on the data flash, so all that is good. So for right now, we are done. So on setup, we did the calibration of the accelerometer. We did ports to set our receiver where it's connected up at, which is UART6. Configuration.
15.1.
We named our craft. We set our arming angle to 180 to allow for turtle mode to work. Under D-shot beacon, we set that RX to beep. Set to beep. And under other features, air mode is on. LED strip is on. OSD is good. RC smoothing it. Fail is off. Nothing done on battery and power. Fail safe is dropped to the ground. The presets we loaded was for the Express ELRS, since we have that now. And that's the only feature we have. Receivers, telemetry's on. Let me check my channels.
Telemetry recovered.
So yaw is 1000 low, 2000 high. Throttle is correct. Nice. All of the channels are right where we want them to be.
Engine off. System on. Ready to fly. 15.2 volts. Engine off. Shit is about to get real. Turtle mode. Shit is about to get real. Stabilize. GPS.
Alright. Everything's looking good on the receiver tab. And that is it. So that's how you set up a new flight controller, or any flight controller that you're working with or want to put in an aircraft if you're using Betaflight. There's other configurators out there. There's Emu Flight, there's iNav, but just depending on what you want to do, there's programs out there. But this is the one that freestyle pilots and a lot of racers use, Betaflight. I'm gonna go ahead and power this down and give it a quick arm test. Give it a little looky look here.
Telemetry recovered. System on. Ready to fly. 15 volts. Shit is about to get real. Telemetry lost.
Put a battery pack on this sucker. Quit messing around, man.
Recovered. Telemetry lost. Engine off. Telemetry recovered. System on. Ready to fly. Engine off.
You don't want to do that too much because those motors will get hot on you.
0.8 volts.
But it is working, man. It is working.
Telemetry lost.
It's alive. She's alive. That's so cool, man. And let's see. What props? Probably gonna put some blue props on there. See what she look like. Now on that tuning and maiden flight, I recommend, just like Joshua Bardwell, use beat up props on your maiden and your tuning. That way once you get a good tune on there the way you like it, if you crash and you bend the prop or break something, it won't burn the motor out, because the motor will already be the flight controller will already be expecting those vibrations to come through. So
14.8 volts.
alright, so popped up. I'm going to spin it up with the props on, so we can see what it might look like at night. My HD0 quad is this thing here. At nighttime, it looks like a red fireball going through the air, because these LEDs, they are bright red at night in the darkness. So, and then it reflects off of the props, so as the props are spinning, you get that red dissipation of the light. So it's pretty cool. And this is blue, so we'll see what happens with it. Where is my prop tool? You don't want to over tighten your props, you just want them snug. Do not want to over tighten the props, because if you're doing that and you're flying one day and you're over water or somewhere where you can't get your quad back and the prop breaks because you've overstressed the hub, you're gonna lose it. So always be aware that you're not over tightening the props. You want them tight, so if you hold the motor, you can't spin the prop. Hold the motor. If I can't spin the prop, that's tight enough. So now I'm gonna get my trusty power supply, and let's see if we can get some light show going a little bit. Make it dark real quick.
Shit is about to get real.
It wants to ramp up quick, which is why I got that power supply. I'm gonna let it ramp up. I'm gonna step back. Pretty cool. The Demibot. Thanks, bot grinder. Oh my god. I love the way this quad feels. I mean, I haven't flown it yet, but just in my hands, the weight of it feels perfect. Perfect, the way I like it. I've always liked my quads a little beefy. And those arms are beefy. Beefy, beefy. Alright. Until the next video, guys. Be safe out there. And as Stacy Abshire says, never stop flying. Peace.